Blog Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, today is Wednesday, February 15th, 2012. I am David Domzalski, founder of the Financial Bin and host of Financial Bin Radio. Before I introduce you to tonight's guest, let me share some quick notes with you. First off, don't forget to pick up your copy of Entrepreneur Intervention, Triumphs and Failures of Entrepreneurs. You can do so for just 99 cents on Apple's iBookstore, Kindle, Nook, and Sony Reader. You can also get a paperback copy for just under $10 at Amazon and CreateSpace. All you got to do, hit up financialbin.com, click on the book section at the very top, next to the login button for more information. Second off, we are in the planning stages of our next book, Wealth Intervention. We're currently looking for contributors for this book. The idea of the book is to give people in the Generation Y age group something to shoot for and concrete examples of people who have been there and done it. Go to financialbin.com, click on Wealth, and you'll find the article talking about it all right there. You can also email us at wealth@financialbin.com for more information or to contribute. Now let me introduce you to tonight's guest. His name is Mark Anthony Germanos. Mark is an author, entrepreneur, speaker, and business coach. He is also the president of two companies, Cameron Park Computer Services and Mark Anthony Germanos Limited. And he joins us right now. And Mark, welcome to Financial Bin Radio.
Hello, David, and good evening, everybody.
Mark, I really appreciate you joining us and taking time out of your busy schedule. So we'll get right to it. The first question I have for you is, can you give the listeners a brief description of what you did prior to your current career?
Yes, I can. Back 12 years ago, I was a webmaster for a bank. It was the 36th largest financial institution in the country, and I was a cubicle dweller there. Basically, what I did is I served on a team of webmasters who built servers for the bank. So I was a computer nerd. I was a 100% computer nerd. I wasn't doing public speaking. I wasn't writing books. I wasn't preaching that people should be self-employed. I was just a computer nerd.
Now, so you said you were just a typical computer nerd, and then you decided to go into entrepreneurship. So what led you to founding and becoming president of both of these companies? Can you kind of walk us through the process a little bit?
Yes, I can. Well, what happened at the bank, and I'm sure that as I talk about this, other people will say, oh, boy, that's happening to me too. Well, I was a cubicle dweller, and we had situations where there were personality clashes at the bank. We had situations between my boss's boss and my boss's boss's boss. So we kept getting pulled into these meetings where we would decide how my team would strategize our position to support our boss's boss and also not alienate our boss's boss's boss. And I thought, oh, boy, this is stupid. I want to build web servers. What's with all these impromptu staff meetings on these political issues? Didn't make sense. Also, I realized that I knew more than the person I was reporting to. He was kind of a generalist, but if you needed a server built or set up, then you can't go to the boss and said you had to go to one of the coworkers. So I sat down and said, well, with all the time and energy and attention we're spending on these political issues, why don't I just become my own boss, go into business for myself? That way I can concentrate on what I want to do, which is computer work.
Yeah, I think, sure, go ahead.
Here we are in 2012, and I have two companies. One is a computer company. That would be Cameron Park Computer Services. And what I do is network support and cloud migration. So I move people, their clients, their applications, and their data to the cloud where everything works. It works all the time, and we don't have to think about it. I also am a speaker and author, and as you know, I wrote Escape the Cubicle, and that is pretty much my sermon for showing people how to transition from a cubicle job to becoming self-employed. I preach that we have to do it gracefully because it's a transition. You start by deciding what you want to do. Then you find a support system, which would be a mastermind group. Then you start doing what you want to do on the side. Maybe during the day, you're an auditor for a state or government agency, and you do that 9 to 5, but on the side, you want to be a dancer. Well, you can do that on the side, maybe get a job Tuesday and Thursday and learn the ins and outs of the industry, but knowing at some point down the road, you'll be doing dance instruction full-time, and you'll be leaving that job as an auditor. So there's a transition. I also preach that you have to get fluent in social media. You know, there are a lot of social media services out there. The big names are Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and you have to become fluent in them and establish connections and gain expert status, then you can start using them as a tool for your business.
Mark, can you kind of touch on a little bit maybe of what your focus is as president? You're the person who's someone's saying is my boss's boss's boss. So what climate do you exude at your companies?
The climate that I find is pretty much people, let's be quite honest, they're afraid to spend money. It's 2012. The economy isn't as strong as it was in 2006 and 2007, so they're afraid to spend money. I come in and I show them that the problem isn't that you're spending too much money. The problem is that your marketing isn't good enough, and therefore you have to improve your marketing. You have to abandon the newspaper ads. You have to abandon the Yellow Pages ads and do more marketing online. You have to have a website and a blog that are SEO friendly and contribute to them often. The general idea here is that you'll be attracting more business. You'll be bringing in more money. So even if your costs are high and they're going a little bit every year, well, what you can do is make your marketing better so you attract more business.
You've already touched on a little bit about the SEO and social media marketing, and that is, as I was reading up on some of the stuff that you've done and over the past few years, that's obviously been your main focus. But still, I still think it's to some people, especially small business owners, I think it's still kind of a foreign concept, almost an enigma a little bit. So can you kind of touch on maybe what do you find the most common issues are for people in this area, and then maybe also kind of go into, is it because it's still fairly new, and then what are small businesses kind of missing? What mistakes are they making also?
Well, what they're doing wrong is that they're going on social media and they're not using it as a business tool. Maybe it's new to them, and when I say new, I'm saying that you have less than 1 year experience. So people are going on social media, they're learning how to upload pictures, how to tag pictures, how to connect with friends, and how to connect with friends of friends. So they're using it as a fun activity, but really they're going to have to transition from using it as a fun activity to using it as a business tool. It's kind of like buying a new car. Now, how many of us have come home with a new car and then spent an hour playing with the windows or playing with the radio or playing with that little camera in the back that turns on when you put the car in reverse? Well, eventually you stop playing with all the toys and you start using the car to take you where you need to go. And the same is with social media. Yes, it's new. 5 years ago, people weren't talking Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, but they are now, and they're big, especially with Facebook's IPO coming up. So people are still in this mode of, oh, look at this toy, and look at these new features. I didn't know about them yesterday. But eventually you'll have to transition to using social media and your website as a marketing tool.
Pinterest, speaking of things that are new, Pinterest is, really just on the market over the past month or so. Do you have any clients who are using it, and what are your thoughts on it?
Using Pinterest. I couldn't hear you.
Pinterest?
I'm not using it. I don't have clients using it. One of my friends here who does marketing has sent out a blog entry about it on Monday morning. So I said, well, as soon as I get some other stuff out of my way, then I can work with Pinterest. I think what it is a place where people post pictures, menus, and recipes, and then other people contribute. But I haven't looked at it.
Okay. What are your plans for 2012 and beyond? What do you have on your plate this year?
On the plate this year, I plan to pick up more clients who are more desperate for good SEO. When times are tough, people become more desperate, and they also sharpen their saws. So I'm looking for bigger clients who want more aggressive marketing campaigns. Also, I'm looking to push more clients to the cloud. I was talking about it earlier. The cloud basically means that your applications and data reside at secure off-site servers, and you can get to them from anywhere. Let's suppose that you run your business off a series of Microsoft Word documents and Excel spreadsheets. You can store those in the cloud and get to them from your office desktop computer, from a notebook computer, or from a smartphone. I plan to move more people to the cloud. It's pretty much the in thing for the computer industry.
You mentioned your book, and you also mentioned a little bit about SEO and social media marketing, like we just talked about. The Financial Bin, at the Financial Bin, we focus on personal finance and entrepreneurship for Generation Y. For those listening out there, maybe desperate to leave their job or trying to start a new business, what are some tips you can offer them? What are maybe 2 or 3 tips that are that you would offer to a client, let's say?
Okay. Number one is identify the best case scenario for what you want to do this time next year. I talk about writing an annual thank you letter, which basically sets your goal and then talks about achieving that goal in the past tense. Let's suppose you set a goal of becoming your own boss. You were dated for February 15, 2013. You list your goal, and you say, I want to thank you for achieving the ambitious goal of becoming self-employed. This is how your life looks. You have more control over your schedule. You are happier. You are bringing in more money. You also overcame some obstacles. You had to figure out what you wanted to do. You had to get some more professional training and certifications. You also had to learn about getting a business license and, if you're a proprietorship, a fictitious business name. All in all, you are much better off because you chose to become self-employed. I'm also an advocate of the SWOT analysis. Now, SWOT is an acronym. It stands for Strengths, Weaknesses, Opportunities, and Threats. And when you perform a SWOT analysis, you pretty much know where you're strong and where you're weak, where you need to spend your time, energy, and attention, and what threats are impacting your livelihood.
Sure. Mark, I guess this actually wasn't on the list that I had sent you, but I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on gamification and game mechanics. Last week on the program, I had Carrie Peters, who's the VP of Marketing from Big Door. They're based in Seattle, and they're kind of on the cutting edge of the gamification and incorporating that with social media and helping people do that with their business. A couple of their clients are like Major League Baseball and Dell, among other small-time bloggers as well. Do you have any clients or do you have any thoughts on gamification, and have you used it, and have you had clients using it?
Have not used it. Haven't had any clients ask about it.
Okay. All right. Well, then, Mark, I really appreciate your time. You've given some great advice, and I will definitely tell my listeners to check out Escape from the Cubicle. Lastly, can you give us your contact information and how people can get in touch with you and your companies?
Yes, you can find me at Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. You can visit markanthonygermanos.com, and you can visit CameronParkComputer.com. Now, if you Google me, make sure you use all three names, markanthonygermanos.com, and you'll find that I'm available through many different media outlets online.
I guess if you would just Google Mark Anthony, probably get a whole different slew of things popping up.
And if you Google Mark Germanos, you find a guy in Chicago who, well, ironically, I used to live in Chicago. So you have to use all three names in order to find me.
All right, well, great. Mark, I really appreciate it. You're welcome back anytime, and we look forward to seeing the latest developments with both of your companies, and we wish you the best of luck.
Oh, thank you, David. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you. Take care. All right, everybody. That was Mark Anthony Germanos. As he said, please use all three names when you're checking him out. His companies are Cameron Park Computer Services and Mark Anthony Germanos Limited. Again, some great advice there. And if you're just starting your business, you're trying to figure out which way to go. You have obviously you're going to have a small budget, and especially in terms of marketing or really anything you're doing. Mark's the go-to guy for SEO and social media marketing. Please check him out. Again, his book is Escape the Cubicle, and I run the Financial Bin on the side from doing having my own day job. I'm an auditor, and so I know how it feels if you're out there trying to figure things out and trying to, as the title says, escape the cubicle and figure out really what you really want to do with your own life. So I can certainly appreciate that. So make sure to check out that book. And also, please remember, check out Entrepreneur Intervention, Triumphs and Failures of Entrepreneurs. 99 cents on Apple's iBookstore, Kindle, Nook, and Sony Reader. $10, Amazon and CreateSpace is actually $9.99. And check us out. We're getting together Wealth Intervention. If you know anybody who may be interested in contributing, please pass the information along. Just email us at wealth@financialbin.com. I want to thank you for your time tonight. I'm your host, David Domzalski, founder of the Financial Bin, host of Financial Bin Radio. Check us out, financialbin.com. Thank you and good night.